Hello, my name is Rekutsko and welcome back to Break Chance Memento. I'm not going to even try and look through any other mementos right now. What I really want to do is I want to save NATSUME right now. And we are going to do that through, I believe we're going to go active. I think what we can, actually, hold on. I never did the importing from the laptop, did I? This one, complicated looking notes and diagrams. I think this has to pertain to what he's been working on with the other NATSUME from the Echo universe. So I'm going to go ahead and launch into that in active mode so we can see exactly what the hell it is all about. Unless it's just his math homework, which at some point I wouldn't know anything about anyway, because I'm terrible at math. So, whatever. Shiki whips into the past just as Chiaki approaches NATSUME's desk. Oh, yes. Not wanting to give anyone a heart attack, Shiki waits in the corridor, only to materialize when he's sure no one is looking. Then, after changing into his uniform, he returns to await the right moment to walk in. Natsu, didn't you bring a bento today? That's pretty rare. Or you didn't. Yeah, I overslept this morning, and when I woke up, someone had taken our bentos from the fridge. Ah, that's harsh. And super lame. Hey, Chi-chan, Anu. Shu-chan, what are you doing up here? Why'd you give me such a weird look? Since we don't have our bentos, I figured I'd see if you wanted to have lunch together. Yeah, why don't we go to the cafeteria? Oh, sure, but I'm finishing something right now. He gestures towards his notebook. I'll catch up with you guys. Why don't you go on ahead? Nah, I'll wait for you. Huh? Are you sure? I'm not in a hurry or anything. Besides, won't you be lonely sitting here by yourself? Oh. Well, in that case, I'll go on ahead. If you get there fast enough, you can jump in line with me. Doubt it, but, you know, we'll try anyway. See you two later. Aw. Alright, later, Chiaki. It's gonna be brother time. Chiaki leaves the room after a curt wave, and Shuki sits himself down at the desk next to his brothers, vacated now since students have basically poured out of the room for lunch. I mean, I used to do the same thing when I was in high school, so, you know. For a few minutes, Natsume completely ignores Shuki's presence as he scribbles in his notebook. Shuki doesn't mind the silence, gives him a little bit of time to think about what to say, how to explain. After Natsume finishes his calculations, he finally looks up and Shuki catches his eye. Are we actually going to talk to him about it? Like, we're going to really actually go into it and tell him, hey, I'm from the future, I need to save you. Oh, this is so weird. Yeah. What are you working on anyway? I can't say. By the way, Shu-chan, you're awfully jittery. Sorry, I'm just nervous. Nervous about what? Sorry, you can stop playing dumb, by the way. I already know everything. What do you mean? I'm talking about Fuyuni, time travel, the murders. I already know about all of that. Natsume leaps out of his seat, knocking his chair over in haste. Oh, this is so interesting. I'm like super excited right now, but I can't be too loud because my roommate's sleeping right now. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. Why do you know about that? You should be asking why I know about you, right? Since you already knew what I was doing. Oh, the truth is coming out and it's so fucked. Natsume looks down at the ground, biting his lip in frustration. After a few moments of consideration, however, his facial expression clears. Yeah, I see. You're time traveling right now, aren't you? Yep. And if you're confronting me like this, it means that something happens later. Something big. Got it in one. Shuki speaks confidently and calmly, tamping down on all the turmoil he feels on the inside. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. It takes all he has not to start shouting question after question at his older brother. I would be insanely freaking curious as to how he is doing all this and why he's become such a different character in such a short amount of time. But if you recall from like the very start of the series, I had said that there had to have been something going on with Natsume. He was doing something, and right when the time machine stuff started coming up, I knew it had to do with him. Like, it was way too obvious. Your calculations are wrong. Well, this last one, Fuyuni's Echo is going to be here any second. You came back to warn me. Shuki shakes his head. Not just that. I came to help you. Looks like you had perfect timing. At Natsume's words, Shuki feels the same disturbing chill in the atmosphere that he did in the hospital room. She's here. Oh no. Right outside the door. He reaches into his desk and pulls out his headphones. The headphones are something significant towards his research, yes? Maybe that's the first oncoming of... Or like maybe he can protect himself that way. Thanks, Shu-chan. I know this must be hard for you too. Save it. We'll have time to talk later. Right. Oh, God, why is this even... The sliding door rips apart, revealing the Fuyuka Echo standing in the doorway. Inu. She doesn't seem to notice Shuki's presence. Is something going to fix the door after all this? Don't worry about that right now. Sure, I guess property damage is the least of our especially when your brother is about to be frickin' rendered almost death. I don't know. This might be different from what you're used to, Shu-chan. Just stay behind me. Despite his usual contrary nature, Shuki obeys and stays behind his brother as they walk into the hallway. The last thing I want to do is hold him back. Natsume puts both of his hands onto his headphone ear cups and turns a dial on one of them. A light on one of the ear cups begins blinking. Oh, I'm so confused. There's a flash of light and green barrier surrounds the three Amamiya siblings. What is this even, and why are these doing the thing with the stuff? I don't know what's going on. Don't worry, Shu-chan. It's just a barrier to keep the other people from seeing us. It's like a field of stealth mode. Okay, lovely. It's awfully convenient. Why didn't Kios give me any of this stuff? Probably because he doesn't have access to it. Fuyuka, listen to me. If you touch him, he's gonna die-ish, kind of. Bring me back where? And Shuki will save you. Listen to me. You have to stop this. Tell me. Talk to me. It's painfully clear to Shuki how futile Natsume's attempts at talking to... Oh, God. She can't be reasoned with. She won't listen. He looks into Fuyuka's hollow eyes, and the next thing that looks back is solitude. You're not my sister. I mean, no, technically she's not, but... The Echo's eyes travel to Shuki, and her eyes widen slowly. Oh, God, this has gotten so frickin' weird, dude. What? What is this even? Somebody give me some answers here, please. She lunges at the two of them in her confusion. Oh, God. A bright white light bursts all around them, and Shuki squeezes his eyes shut, bracing for impact. But the impact never comes. Please don't tell me that Natsume flew himself in front of me. When he opens his eyes, Fuyuka is gone. It's then that he remembers the future Natsume dispelling the clone in the hospital. Oh, so he dispelled her. Oh, that had to have been hard for him. The green barrier crackles and dissipates. Shuki looks up, and even though Natsume's back is turned, his pain is evident in his hunched shoulders and... I mean... And he has been facing this all this time. While I was messing around and not thinking too much about what I was doing, he had to deal with this alone. Like, you really could have done anything about it, though. Like, you couldn't have just gone up to him and been like, hey, you know, I have your research stuff from future stuff, people, whatever. You know what I mean. I'm sorry. This is... Well, for me, I've gotten used to this. It doesn't affect me. Yeah, total bullshit, dude. The bend of Natsume's back speaks of sorrow and the sight of its shaking hands. Hands that have had to carry too much, humble Shuki to his core. But you... I didn't want you to have to see this. I know you didn't. I'm sorry I didn't say anything before. I'm sorry you had to face all those murders alone. So he remembers them too. Of course he remembers them. If he was around for them, he's clearly going to remember every single one of them. He had it worse than me though. Like, I wasn't necessarily alone. Like, I had people there with me. But Natsume, he's been dealing with a lot of this crap by himself. You had it even worse than I did, you know. He says this cheerfully, trying to lighten the mood. I don't think so. I'm not saying it's a competition, but it's true. He did have it worse than me. Which Annie is a real one. Sometimes he's so cold to me, and sometimes he's... Just then, Shuki hears the sound of approaching students, and glances down at his watch. Yeah, lunch is already over. Yeah, but this conversation isn't. You know that, right? You got a hell of a lot to explain. Oh, but they're gonna be together for it. On December 24th, Christmas Eve, we're going to sit down and talk about this. Promise? I promise. You won't forget? I'll remember if you do. And I'll see you later. Just before Shuki wraps back to the present, he hears Natsume say, just barely above a whisper, "Oh, why did you have to do that at the end?" Oh. Oh. I mean, there's nothing more to do. I saved Natsume. That should be the last thing. We should be nearing the end of this series. This should be within the end of the series. And what's crazy is that I haven't done anything with any of the extra characters. We've literally just been going through this timeline. So it must be getting through the regular timeline right now, where we're saving people and getting through to them. Eventually there should be something along the lines where we're going to be interacting with Chiaki or Yukinari at some point or another. But I don't want to end it right here. I do want to go for another second here. I want to take a look at what was it, the cake recipe. I wanted to take a look at the cake recipe because I'm really curious about that, and I don't want to end the episode right here right away, because I feel like that would be cheap to you guys, because you guys have waited for a little bit for this. So, let's go ahead and figure out what this is. Shuki warps into the confectionery while it's still invisible. He decides to wait a little bit for a better time to appear. Natsume is sitting behind the counter, a bored look on his face. Natsume. The voice that I gave this guy is ridiculous. How many customers have we come in today? There was a rush in the early afternoon, but it's been a little slow since then. I see. That's pretty normal for a Sunday. The boss returns to the back room, leaving Natsume on his own at the front. Seeing that he has his chance, Shuki faces through the front door of the confectionery, materializes outside, and then walks up to the place normally. There's a soft jingle of a bell as he opens the door and goes inside. Hey, Annie! Natsume looks up from his paper. Shu-chan, what are you doing here? I was bored, so I thought I'd stop by. Hearing the sound of a potential customer, the boss comes back from the... Aw, but you're gonna be so disappointed. Oh, come on, really? You could at least be nice. This isn't a playground, you know. Why don't you shove it up your ass, sir? It's not like there's anyone here I can bother. I'll make myself scarce if customers come in. Actually, if you need any help, I can help out. I'm just taking inventory of ingredients. 2 eyes are better than 1, right? Shu-chan, I think you mean 4 eyes are better than 2. That's not what you said, though. I think what he technically meant to say was one set of eyes, or two sets of eyes is better than one. I think that would be more along the lines of what he was trying to shoot for, but Natsume was pretty correct in his little deal there too. Natsume's boss sighs. I don't need help with inventory, but I was planning on putting up some flyers on the front window later. Think you can help with that? Oh, it hurts so bad. I suppose it's better to do it while it's still light out. Sure. Then I'll go get them from the back. The boss disappears into the storage room. You sure you'll be okay, Shu-chan? I totally effed up his voice there. We're just hanging up flyers. What's the big deal? Nothing. Just... Alright, let's go. The boss returns and ushers Shuki outside before Natsume can say any more. When did this turn into a thing about Shuki? I thought we were figuring out what's up with the cake recipe. Once outside, Shuki and Natsume's boss work together to hang up the flyers. You're taller, so I'll pass them on to you, but then you should tape them up. Do you think we need a stepladder or something? There's no need to put them up so high, or else people won't be able to read them. Yeah, you've got a point. Take down those old flyers first. Okay. The two of them work in silence for a little while before Shuki decides to ask some questions that have been weighing on his mind. So, Annie's planning to quit in the spring, huh? The boss sighs. Oops, I could have phrased that better. He's told you about that, has he? Fine waste. You think your brother's talented too, don't you? Well, he is pretty good at cooking, I guess. I'd be more than happy to fund his education if he would continue working here. So you like Annie a lot? Are you kidding? He's my only employee. If I don't like him, who else am I going to like? I put up with a lot of his demands just to... Wait, demands? Oh, I am so confused. What, is Natsume like pretty much the co-owner of this place? Natsume's box looks like as if he said something that he shouldn't have, but decides to go in after looking over his shoulder to make sure that no one else is within earshot. For example, he's told me not to be too nice to him when you or your other brother are around. Why? My guess is he doesn't want it to look like he's having it too easy of a time. I never get what that kid is thinking. I also haven't hired anyone else in order to keep him being able to pay him a high wage. That sounds really unsound for a business. Business is fairly slow when he's not around anyway. If I really needed the workers, I would hire them. So Annie was lying about his work being hard. That or this old guy's lying through his teeth, but I mean, it's definitely... Natsume obviously has a lot of things going on with what he's been working with. We've already seen that, but Shuki doesn't necessarily know this yet. So, I know we just got done with that, but this is technically within, like, the past, not the future of the past future that we were just in. You know what I mean? While taping up the flyers, Shuki looks down at Natsume's boss, but his demeanor is fairly relaxed. He doesn't get anything out of lying to me, anyway. If he's got nothing else he wants to do with his future, I think being a pâtissier... A pâtissier? I don't know how to say that word. I'm so sorry. I'm stupid. Would be a good fit for him. You don't want to use Annie's ideas before, though. I remember. Oh, you're talking about a couple of months ago? Well, that was right around the time he started going on about how he's going to quit. A lot of customers already come here just to see him as it is. If I put too much of his stuff in the lineup, won't that make it harder for me to once he's gone? Everything suddenly makes sense. Shuki can't believe that he could be surprised by anything at this point, but this, naturally, is a shock. After putting up the last fire, he and the boss go back inside to the confectionery. Man, Natsume has a whole separate life than what I was actually thinking. Yeah, this is insane. I came up with a new recipe, boss. Oh! He glances at Shuki before clearing his throat. I see. I'll take a look at it later. Thank you for your consideration. I'm gonna go back to the storeroom. If any real customers come by and they need anything from me, let me know. Got it. He leaves the two Amamiya brothers alone. I hope he didn't give you a hard time or anything. Nah, it was fine. You worry too much. I can't help it. If you had younger siblings, you'd understand, Shu-chan. What is it? Well, Shuki breathes a sharp intake of air. Look, beating around the bush isn't really my style, so I'll just say it. I heard everything from your boss. Everything? What do you mean by that? Like how he actually treats you pretty well and stuff. I see. Natsume grips the pen in his hand. Shuki can hear the creak of the plastic and vaguely hope. I hope not either. This is very strange. I always knew you had a habit of, like, being clingy towards me and Masani, but mine's taking it a bit far. You don't understand the fears I have, Shuchan. You're right, I don't. But are they so bad that you have to lie to make yourself feel better? Oh, you're my older brother, remember? Even if you're doing fine at work and all, I'll still care about you. You don't have to pretend to have a hard time just to get some sympathy out of me. Don't I? No, just talk to me. There's no point in doing this sort of thing and then barely talking to me the rest of the time. I suppose you're right. I'm sorry you were so surprised. Nah, just stop doing this kind of thing. I'll consider it. Oh, come on. Like, if you don't like the thing I'm doing, I'm going to keep doing the thing. Obviously. This is something to haha about. But the air is a lot less tense, so Shuki hopes that his brother is really taking his words to heart. After that, a customer comes in, so Shuki decides to leave. I'll see you later, Annie. Be careful walking home. And with that, we have a lighter heart and a much more deeper knowledge on what makes Natsume tick. So, that means we're just going to go ahead and end it here because we are completely done with this episode. We're going to go on, we're going to say we're done with this after this, but for now, I will see you guys in the next one. So, please, click that little subscription thing. It's like an icon of me. It's like a circle. It's like a circle. There's a circle of my face right off to the side there. That is going to lead you to subscribe to the channel, as well as some videos down below and kind of off to the middle there that are going to be able to lead you to some different content that I have made in the past. Not the future, but the past. Possibly the future. I don't know. I don't know how this whole thing works. But regardless of that, I'll see you guys in the next video. So, peace out.